and welcome to another video. So today we are looking at the PT100 expansion for Rig Player. Now this is an expansion by Choptones and it's based on the Thorn 100 watt amp. So if you don't know what Rig Player is, it is kind of a model-y plugin inside THU's Overloud, and it basically allows you to put rigs in and play through those rigs. So it's kind of like your Kemper style emulation. So the PT100 basically has 153 sounds. What they've done, it's a 3-channel amp. So what they've done is they've gotten each channel different settings, then with different cabs, and they've got different pedals and various things to get all these different sounds. And of course, then you can customize them with the Rig Player, but what we're going to do today is listen to all the sounds without much customization at all. I will go with a few pedals and stuff, and we'll get into that later and I'll tell you why. So what I've done first is I've kind of done a verse and chorus of this track I'm working on. Now I think personally these Rig Player plugins work really well in the mix, and because they're kind of recorded in a certain way, they kind of work well for that. So I wanted to show it in that context. And then I'm going to go grab some guitars. We'll play through some sounds by themselves too, because I know a lot of people, they just want to play guitar. They want to jam along to things. They're not necessarily producers or anything. They're not necessarily looking for that recording thing. But I thought I'd show this first for those guys out there, and just so you can hear it in context. So what we've got here is 3 different clean tracks for the verse and 4 different kind of overdriven tracks for the chorus. Now I haven't added any extra plugins to the guitars. This is just raw. Normally, of course, if I was mixing a song, we would mix it, a bit of EQ and various other things. I have added a few pedals in for certain sounds just to suit the song. And what I'll do is I'll drag each of the windows up for the guitar parts as we play through the whole song, and then we'll go through each part. And as I said, we will then play through some guitars and stuff. So if that's what you care about, I'm going to put the timestamps in. You'll be able to skip ahead to that if you don't want to hear it in context, but I recommend you do listen in context. So let's start the song off. I don't know why I closed that. So that was the first clean guitar. I've also put it on the bass, and we'll have a look at that as well. So here's the song. So let's go through each of those parts. As you can hear, they're all slightly different sounds. It can be a bit muddy in the chorus. That's just based on the sounds. And of course, like I said, when you mix it, you'd EQ it a bit. But they're pretty good sounds. So let's go to the clean riff first. So this is the basic motive for the song, and it's a riff. So what I've done is gotten this 4x12 sound. I think that's 75 watt, maybe it's not 75 watts. I think they're greenback style. Maybe they're Thorn's own greenbacks on the clean channel, which is channel 1. Bit of chorus, bit of reverb. Is what it is. Next, I kind of got these clean chords. Now these are kind of these muted chords. You hear them there. So I wanted a little bit more gain and a little bit more crunch, so that they kind of break up, which they do at this end section, which we can skip to. So about here. So you can really hear that natural breakup as I dig in, but it's clean for the rest of it. You know, this is just a different cab. I think boost and bright on. As I said, they're all different kind of settings. So yeah, you kind of what the amp would be set on, dip switch, well not dip switches, but switches, and different EQs, different cabs, that kind of thing, different mics, different mic techniques. So that one really suited that, I think. And then there's this kind of high lead in there, which I then added tape delay, reverb, and chorus. Let me just start again from earlier. Again, different cab, similar sound, but sounds different. So altogether, they kind of have enough difference that they kind of stand out. Okay, so let's look at the dirty sounds. So this first one, basically, there's two rhythm guitars, pan left and right. Slightly different rhythm, but that kind of double tracking idea. So this one is through a V30 Mesa cab. So let's jump ahead to that chorus. So that's the first one. Second one is a similar sound, but a bit more mids, a bit more mids, a bit that kind of British thing, which is the D12M you can see together. So again, they sound like the same amp, but they're different enough that without even any EQ, you can kind of hear them, you know, in their own space, especially hard panned. So then we've got this lead, so a little bit of reverb there. So this is a bit more high gain. We've got the grid slammer on it. Sounds like this. This is all with a Telecaster type guitar, by the way, with very low gain pickups. But that was the sound I was going for. So it's got that sharpness. So that's that. When we hear humbuckers, you'll hear that it's a bit smoother. And lastly, we have this high lead. So this is the last of the guitars. So an 808. And I brought down the presence just to make it a little bit smoother due to the telliness. And in context, all the rhythm guitars, with bass, and drums. Okay, so last we have the bass. So this isn't a guitar, this is the last guitar was that high guitar, but we've got bass now. So what I did with the bass is I put it through the clean channel, which is channel 1. So I got this 133, which is clean channel. And then I turned the cab off and put it through the Ampeg cab. And I like doing this. It's actually really cool. With the AC50, it was really cool using some of my own amps to do it. You're using a bass cab, so you've got that kind of full bass thing going on. But you get the tube flavor from the amp. So if we just solo that. And if I turn it off, this is just the DI bass. Back on. So it's kind of got that rock bass thing. Normally if I'd mix it, I'd add a little bit of probably a DI as well and a lot more compression, but this is unmixed and I just want to show what it sounds like. No bass. Bass. Okay, so that is enough of hearing these recorded things. Let's actually jump in and I am going to start playing some tones. So what I'm going to do is I've got it here. We'll start off with the clean stuff. I'll start off with a telly for the clean stuff. We'll do a bit of dirty stuff with the telly and then we'll go to humbuckers because I know a lot of you don't like single coils or you only use humbuckers and you know you think it's crazy that I use single coils for high gain stuff. So, of course, I'm going to play with humbuckers as well so you can get that tone. And, of course, it sounds different. And the best thing about these rig players I've found is they respond very differently to single coils versus humbuckers, which you don't get with a lot of simulators. These actually seem like an amp would in that it sounds different. So, let's do that. Okay, so let's get into playing some sounds with the guitar. I have got my Parenti T-Type here. I'm going to start with this, but I'm going to play with some humbuckers later because I know a lot of you use humbuckers. You don't really use Telecaster single coils and you don't really like it for high gain, or it's just a preference thing. So we are going to do both. I'll keep the Tele on more of the clean stuff. The humbuckers are more of the high gain stuff, but of course you can use either for whatever tones you want. So I'm going to start down here on this clean. So we've got gain to bright with our Nico Blues and C414. I've got a little bit of reverb. It's just a little bit of spring reverb. I'm just going to keep that on. Just because when you're playing, you kind of use a lot of reverb. A lot of people use reverb on the amps or a pedal or something. So I kind of wanted to do that. And that's included in THU Slate, of course. So let's just hear this first tone. So, as I said before, a lot of the difference is in cab. So if you have a look here, I'm on this gain to bright, channel 1, right? And there's a lot of these settings, but with different cabs. So let's just try something different, like a Showman cab. Or there is a 1x2 here, I think the Mesa one, yep. It's a lot thinner, a lot different kind of tone. But let's add a little bit more gain. So as you kind of go up, you've got, this is in all of rig player, different coloured circles. Green is the cleanest, red is the highest gain. So there's a few crunchier settings up here. So let's go through some of them. So when this is crunchy, it doesn't really get a lot of distortion, but it does kind of just add a little bit more grit. So that was cool. That was Bright and Boost with a M75 Brit 412. And as I dig in, you kind of hear it kind of express itself a little bit. We'll go to this same setting, I think, with different mic. Seeing the difference that a mic would make. This has got a bit more gain. So it really does respond to picking dynamics, especially in the clean end. Anyway, let's move more into crunch territory before I go to humbuckers. So this one looks a bit more crunchy. It really depends on the sound. It doesn't sound as crunchy. Maybe we'll go here. Maybe we'll just move to channel 2. So channel 2 is the crunch channel. Channel 1 is the clean channel, but obviously with a lot of these kind of amps, you can get more of that crunch. That's what we're talking about. So that's a bit of classic kind of martially crunch. And let's just quickly go to a higher gain thing while I've got the telly. Then we'll move on to the humbuckers in the LP type. So channel 2, we'll stay on channel 2, but we'll go with the higher gain setting. Cool setting, like you get that pick dynamics like we did before, and you know, really just kind of, I don't know, it feels like a real amp to me playing it. It's kind of hard to explain. I mean, you get the latency obviously of the digital, and I've got my latency settings set down low, so it isn't as responsive as a real amp, but that is a pretty nice tone. So let's get the LP type for some humbuckers. Okay, staying on the same setting, here we go. Cool, I forgot I was in drop D for a second. I'm just gonna tune a little bit. Rolling by the guitar volume. That's just that one setting. Let's move on to channel 3 for some more gain. There's a few more channel 2 settings up here, different things. Bit more of a crunch thing. go to the, you know, all these channel 2s here. Let's go to channel 3 gain here. Don't know why I went down to E there. So it's got that hot rodish Marshall thing going on, but a little bit more clarity and a little bit more modern kind of smoothness. But you can definitely get those kind of 80s high gain tones. Let's just go find something a bit more 80s. Of course, you can add some delay, bit of chorus. Now, it's not really made for super modern heavy metal death tones. That sounded really condescending. It's not made for your modern gent kind of stuff. But we can look at some of the highest gain sounds. What have we got? Let's have a look. Grid Slammer. Now I reckon probably with drop tuning, 7-string guitar, high gain ceramic pickups, you might actually get something pretty cool like that with this. Now we could stand here going through all these tones for days, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. So that is the PT100, otherwise known as the Choptones Suhr 100 PTP, I think. It says it here. Yep. So it's basically Pete Thorn's 100 watt amp, modeled, captured and modeled with the rig player. I bought it for $29 US. I think it was on sale at the time. It's definitely worth that. You've got so many different cabs, and then you can go in and add effects. You can mix with some of the cabs here because you can just turn the cab off. So I think it's really worth the price, especially if you don't have any of the rig players. Now I've got a few. If you go to my list here, I've got the 1987, the Vox, and the Vintage Collection. And they all sound different. The 1987, to me, this actually gives me more what I want when I want a Marshall tone, which is actually probably more of a hot-rodded Marshall tone. 1987 is not hot-rodded, it's a 50 watt plexi, and it's got a bit of a different tone. There is a video, I'm going to be doing that soon on that, but I went with a different direction in the video. You'll see when what I've done with the song. We'll go through some classic tones too. So yeah, that is basically this plugin. Look, I'd seriously consider buying it if you have spare cash. Now, I know at the moment, given the circumstance in the world, a lot of people don't have a lot of money. But if you do have enough money and you're looking at recording especially, grab this. I think it will add a bit to your tracks. So thanks again, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And I'm going to be doing a lot more videos because I have a lot of free time on my hands right now. So put in the comments below what you kind of want to see. If you want to see more THU stuff, maybe some tutorial stuff, just let me know. I know it's a bit of a mixed bag with my videos at the moment. I'm trying to do more computer stuff, which is a bit more mix orientated and might not be what you want for the guitarist, guys, but don't fret, I will have some guitar videos as well. So there should be enough to go around for the different kind of people watching these videos. So, and thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.